dominate the world by faith. When my pastor said that on Sunday, the Holy Spirit went off with this analogy. When you're hungry, you go to a restaurant and you sit down and you tell the server what you want. And if you got some shmoney in your pocket, you're not looking at prices and you're actually getting what you want. And if you want a steak, you're going to get the Wagyu or you're going to get a filet instead of getting a sirloin because you got that shmoney. And when you go out to eat, you don't just look at them and expect them to know what you want. You have to voice that and you have to say what you want. The same goes with God. Being hungry is the same thing as having a need. And so when you go to God, you have to ask for what that need is. You can't sit there and expect him to read your mind. I mean, he can. You also have to understand your authority and your position. So when you begin to say things out of your mouth, you're walking in your authority that you have legislation. You know, you can decree a thing and it shall be. You know, you exercise that authority. But when you're going to God and you're asking him for what you need, because you're paying in faith, if you got a whole bunch of faith, you're asking for big things. You're not looking at the price of things. You're not looking at, oh, this is too big, this is too much. No, because you have the faith to pay for what you're asking for. So after they take your order, they turn it in the kitchen begins to prepare your food. Even though you can't physically see them preparing your food, you believe that since you asked for something, they're back there preparing it. So spiritually, the Holy Spirit was telling me to let the Holy Spirit cook. The Holy Spirit is preparing your order. If you're sitting down at a restaurant and you're eating, you don't typically get up and leave and then come back to your food. They're going to assume that you left and they're not going to bring you any food. So the Holy Spirit used that analogy to tell me to stay in his presence. While the Holy Spirit is preparing what I asked for, stay in the presence of God. Because more often than not, when you're in a restaurant, the server updates you and kind of lets you know the kitchen's a little backed up right now. It's taking just a little bit longer, but please be patient. It'll be out shortly. Or I can see your food almost up. You know, the server is in communication with you because you stayed right there. But while you're allowing the Holy Spirit to cook, stay in the presence. Stay in the presence or stay in God's face. Now we all know what happens next. Now you finna eat. Physically and spiritually, you finna eat. And you know when the food is good, you do a little dancey dance in your seat because the food is just that good. Now spiritually, you receive what you're asking for. The only difference in this is that when you go out to a restaurant, you're going to pay with money. When you receive what you're asking for, in faith, because you've already paid by faith, that testimony that you have, you go out and tell people now. Because I asked for something by faith, I received what I was asking for. Now I'm going to go encourage other people. That's your review. Like, oh my gosh, that food was so good. I'm going to go tell my daddy, sister, cousin, y'all got to go there next week. It was fire. That's your review. It's your testimony and your encouragement to somebody else. In wrapping up, you're going to speak your need with no lack, no poverty mindset, no scarcity mindset. Then you're going to let him cook and you're going to say in his face, trust and believe you going to eat.